Good day, everybody. I'm Shmee, and I make guides for Path of Exile. If you're enjoying the content, please hit that like button and feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more. Today, I'm back because I've gotten distracted with a new build, and it is a lot more powerful than I was expecting. It's all centered around two transfigured gems that I've picked up, Arc of Oscillation and Stormbrand of Indecision. I just completed the campaign on this character, and I'm getting into the XP grind, so I'm showing this build, but just know that it is nowhere near done. First, let's talk about Stormbrand of Indecision, because that's where the build came from. It has a significantly faster cast time than the regular Stormbrand, it does more damage, and it has a better added damage multiplier, but the drawback is that it only hits one enemy at a time instead of three. You also lose the more damage to branded enemy multiplier thing, but the base damage is so much higher that it doesn't matter. The real quirk and why it's Stormbrand of Indecision is that every time it activates, the brand moves to a different enemy. I assumed this meant that the pack clearing was going to be bad, and I'd have to use something else to do that pack clearing. So my idea for a build was to create a cast speed stacker that gets most of its damage from a hyperspeed Stormbrand and then uses Arc of Oscillation to clear. The thing is, I was dead wrong. Stormbrand of Indecision hits hard enough and it activates so fast that for most of the second half of the campaign, I was only using Arc against bosses. Again, I'm just getting started and my Stormbrand of Indecision is activating just shy of 9 times per second. I would say that it's death by 1,000 lightning cuts, but this thing cuts pretty hard and it rips right through enemy life bars, and I only have my skill gem up to level 17. Arc of Oscillation is another beast entirely. The phrasing on Arc of Oscillation is confusing and awkward, so I'll just tell you all the difference straight up. Normal Arc cannot hit the same enemy more than once in a single cast. Arc of Oscillation can. Because of this sort of pseudo-shotgunning, Arc of Oscillation is stellar at taking down tough rares and bosses that spawn adds. It specifically punishes monsters for being near other monsters. I have run every single abyss crack that I've found throughout the campaign because those normally big, scary, tough, rare abyss monsters have never felt so easy. One thing that has really surprised me is how tanky the build is. I'm using Valakos Sign, which gives me 1% leech because everything is almost always shocked, and combining that with the extra tankiness from souped up Chaos and Stone Golem buffs makes an incredibly tanky high regen character. I'm pretty sure at this point that I should just push and take Zealot's Oath because the leech from Valakos Sign is more than enough. Here's my whole passive tree so far. My next planned step in the build will be unlocking these 4 nearby jewel sockets so that I can push for some more damage and cast speed. After that, I'm not quite sure. I'd originally planned to cut in and get Iron Will and Constitution, but I'm thinking it may be better to go hard into Shock and Shock Effect. I'll have to test that out and see which works better. Another big question I have regards my auras. I'm only using Herald of Thunder and Clarity right now, but I very easily could swap out Herald for Wrath instead. I could also change up the build a little bit, take the Sovereignty cluster, and then toss in an extra aura, but that brings up a bunch of skill gem socket questions that frankly I just don't want to deal with right now. So for now, I'm going to get back to the XP grind and I'll get this build figured out. Should have a build guide coming up pretty soon. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, take care, Exiles.